Okay. Good morning. Welcome to general session and fun times today at the County Commission meeting of March 26, 2019. We'll begin with Pledge of Allegiance led by Commissioner Boyce.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
I know that we've got several special guests today, and I know we've got some real special icons in Columbus that are here, and I think we're going to switch things up a bit because they are very impatiently waiting, if that's okay, before we start Women's History Month. We're going to have Crash, Lucille, and our wonderful Ken Schnocky from the Columbus Clippers come on up. And Ken, yeah, I see how impatiently you've been waiting out there.
They might not be as impatient as I am, even dressed in costume. Commissioners, good morning.
Good morning.
Ladies and gentlemen, good morning. Welcome. I get the honor of doing this once every year. We're about a week away from the start of the Clippers season. What's amazing is this is the 11th year of Huntington Park already.
No, 11 years.
11 years. And it's the 43rd year of Clippers baseball, and it's also my 43rd year with the Clippers. And after that, I usually add that I started when I was 2 years old, but yeah, that usually gets that response. So we're looking forward to this year. I think it's going to be a very good year. We're very pleased with our affiliation with the Cleveland Indians. I think the fans in Central Ohio love that. We're very pleased with the ballpark. I keep saying that it's aging wonderfully. You know, after the first 10 years, this ballpark has been honored 8 times as the best ballpark and 2 times as the best ballpark experience in the country. So that's one major award for every year. So if we can keep that up, that'll kind of be nice. We got some new things this year, and the one I brought with me this morning, I don't know if you had time to see this morning's Columbus Dispatch, but the Clippers qualified this year to become part of minor league baseball's Hispanic initiative. And to do that, you have to come up with a Hispanic nickname that kind of corresponds to the team nickname. Well, that was a little bit of a dilemma for us because the word Clippers in Spanish really only translates to nail clippers, and that didn't sound too ferocious. So with some help from a Spanish friend in the Office of the Commissioners, we did some research and we came up with veleros. And veleros means sailboats in Spanish. So it's as close as we could get, and we came up with a neat design. We have a black racing sailboat with kind of an attitude, and the Veleros jersey, and then the skull and cross bats cap. And we will become Los Veleros every Friday night. We're working with the Hispanic Chamber of Commerce, the El Vaquero restaurants. Instead of having live entertainment on both Friday and Saturday, on Fridays now we're going to have a DJ that will play Hispanic tunes and also American tunes. Yeah, these two are going to learn the Maharachi and all those other things. So it's really neat. You know, I took Spanish a long time ago in high school. I wish I had taken it more. So learning some new words and getting a little more in tune with the Spanish-speaking players, I think will be a lot of fun for us and something different that we have to look forward to. So the one thing I would like to do before I leave this morning is get the 2 commissioners here to put on one of these caps. I'd like to take a picture so we could use it on social media. So we'll actually, all three of them. There he is.
I have a question. Are Crash and Lucille going to get hats and new shirts for Friday games?
They pretty much get whatever they want. I've learned to keep my office door closed. Yeah, they will be part of it too. So, it should be a lot of fun. This Clipper season should be a lot of fun, and it's just hard to believe that it's here.
It's
But it's
great.
been a wacky winter, so it's
Yeah.
about time we have some spring.
Absolutely.
So,
My
Mr.
brother-in-law-
O'Grady, I'm going to ask the three of you to put these on. I'm going to take a picture.
Yeah.
I was jealous. My brother-in-law has one of those already. I didn't get that, so now I have one too. All right.
All right.
I'm gonna have to make it bigger, Ken. I'm sure you expected that.
We'll come up there and get a picture.
Subtitle this The Three Amigos.
Nice.
That may be pretty good for social media. I may have to use that. I only brought 3 caps.
Kevin, this is a baseball hat. This is a baseball hat.
Kevin, that hurt.
I don't get it,
Bigger.
I need to make it smaller, but we don't have time.
Okay, now see my first problem? The mascots always want to be front and center. I want the 3 commissioners together.
Oh, there
Well,
you
let me
go.
take this one first. Good. This is good.
The commissioners are used to making everybody else front and center on these pictures.
Okay, now let's have the commissioners.
Wait. One with you in it.
I didn't bring a hat. I just want to put them on the end. I might have been born at night, but it wasn't last night. Okay, great, thank you.
Okay, wait, can I get some?
Can
Are you sure you don't want in there?
Come on.
All right, thanks, guys. Okay, just a little.
Not used to get my picture taken with crashing and
Okay,
sailboat.
thank
Oh,
you.
off the field.
Please keep those confidence.
That is.
Everybody's good. What up, should go to Cleveland. This is their senior year, so. Yeah.
Thanks, everybody.
Thank you.
See you guys. You didn't tell me you were coming, I had to find out for my staff.
Would you like the pleasure of introducing her?
No, your job. Your job.
Well, today, in our continuing month of Women's History Month, we have the great pleasure to introduce, we've got 2 guests for Women's History Month this week. So our first guest is somebody that Commissioner O'Grady knows very well. We all know Barb Hikes very well, and we're honored to have you representing the League of Women Voters today to talk with us a little bit about the history of women and voting and the importance of women in history and the history of women in voting in our community. Thank you for being here.
Thank you, Madam President. I appreciate that. Commissioner O'Grady, Commissioner Boyce. It's a pleasure to be here this morning to talk a little bit about the League of Women Voters. First off, of course, I have to give our little commercial and just hit on the fact that we're organized at 3 levels, local, state, and federal, that we are fervently a nonpartisan organization. We do not support political parties or candidates, but we do take positions on issues that we have studied. And also, even though our name says the League of Women Voters, we are open to all. We found that our name could be used for a lot of other things if we did not continue it with the trademark. So League of Women Voters welcomes everyone. Gender, race, creed, it doesn't matter. We'd like to have you because we want people participating in the democracy. We are an organization that will be 100 years old in 2020. Actually, the Columbus organization is 100 years old this year. But we developed out of the suffrage movement. And when the 19th Amendment was making its way through the states and through passage, the Columbus League formed itself as a group of women who were very interested in the role that Ohio could play in getting the final ratification. As you're probably very well aware, in the presidential election of 2020, which was the pivotal year for getting the 19th Amendment, there were both candidates were from Ohio. Senator Warren Harding from Marion and Governor James Cox from Dayton. So the women of the state of Ohio felt that we might have a good opportunity to influence those candidates and getting them to influence their parties to support the idea of women's suffrage, particularly since the last state to ratify was Tennessee, and it was quite the battle to convince people that women should be voting and what they should be voting on. How would I say this? The League itself, in addition to lobbying and being advocates for passage of the amendment, once it was passed in August of 2020, looked around and said, you know, what we need to do now is make sure that people are educated and informed so that they know how to vote, where do you go, how do you do this, how do you get signed up, what are the issues, how should we identify issues, how do we, so they found a new mission. And that mission is the same mission that we have today, which is empowering and educating voters and ensuring that everyone has the right to vote. When we were invited to speak, one of the things that was mentioned in the email was State House Day, and the League of Women Voters of Ohio is sponsoring State House Day on Wednesday, which is an opportunity for members and non-members from across the state to gather together to hear about all of the work that the League is doing, the positions that people are actually studying, as well as the ones that they're advocating on, and then to be able to take action. So in the afternoon, we will have the opportunity for members and non-members alike to meet with their representatives and talk about the issues that are important to them. This advocacy has been a hallmark of the League's work going forward. Right now, the local league is mostly focused on voting and voter services. In 2018, we sponsored over 50 voter information, voter registration drives. We were in 12 of the high schools, primarily in underserved areas, talking about voting and the importance of making your voice heard and teaching high school seniors not only how to register to vote, but also how to advocate for themselves and for their neighborhoods. We printed over 100 and distributed over 100,000 copies of our voter information bulletin, fielded more than 60,000 online inquiries to both our local website and also our Vote 411, which is our online version of the voter guide, vote411.org. As a founding partner in the Franklin County Consortium for Good Government, we have also sponsored 7 candidate and issue forums last year. We'll be proceeding with that again this year, but we're looking for ways that we can use social media to make the audience or make the information more accessible to a wider audience. One of the thinking of social media, one of the things that we began last year was working on a series of YouTube videos that we could put out on social media and also have up on YouTube. The first was with a couple of high schoolers talking about make calls, not comments, which is the title of the video on YouTube, but teaching them to find the information and how to reach out to their elected officials. So the second then, as we realized going into voting season that it was very important, was College Voting 101. and again, our same two teenagers, amazingly, talking about how college kids have to make a decision. Do they vote where they in their home, or do they vote where they're going to college? Once they make that decision, how do they vote at home? Do they early vote? Do they absentee vote? How do you absentee vote? Where do you get stamps? But
Basic.
This is outreach that we've begun with the idea that we're trying to reach people who may not be looking at TV, may not be watching, the local news shows, but who may have a presence on social media. All of that, things that we have done going forward today. We have a team of volunteers at Eastmoor High School, again, talking about civic responsibility and then helping people sign up to vote. On Wednesday, as we noted, we have State House Day, but Thursday of this week, we'll be conducting a forum at the Upper Arlington Library, the Tremont branch, where we're going to have a panel from the community, including Eric Janis from the Commissioner's Office, who will be talking about the barriers to affordable housing in Franklin County. What are they, and what can we do about them? Again, open to the public. It starts at 7 o'clock at the library in Upper Arlington. Then on the 8th of May, we'll be doing our Democracy in Action award ceremony. We'll be recognizing Ted Celeste, because civility in our public discourse has been a big concern of ours, and Ted has a remarkable record as a legislator of reaching across the aisle and building bridges, and now as a member of the National Institute for Civil Discourse. So hoping we might be able to see you all there. But bottom line is, we continue to want to help voters make their voices heard and help them know how to vote and reduce any barriers to voting. So thank you very much for the time.
Thank you.
All right.
And next we have Brandy Slaughter with the Columbus chapter of NAACP. Thank you for being here to talk a little bit about NAACP's role in helping us vote and helping to get those who have been disenfranchised get to vote.
Good morning. Thank you, President Brown and Commissioners. I am Brandy Slaughter. I'm the chair of the Political Action Committee for the oldest and boldest civil rights organization, your Columbus NAACP. It's an honor to celebrate with you this morning as we recognize the contributions of African American women to the suffrage movement. I am a preacher, I'm an adjunct professor, and I'm a person of passion. So if you need to bring out Sandman or pull the hook on me if I wax too long, or hold up a sign, please let me know. I'm also a proud graduate of Morgan State University, and that's a HBCU in Baltimore, Maryland. And there's a Dr. Rosalind Penn who's done extensive research on this subject should you want to learn and explore a little bit more. She is the foremost authority. I can't start remarks without saying, ain't I a woman? I won't give the speech, but I will paraphrase. Sojourner Truth, she talks about the fact that I've labored alongside men. She's got strong arms to prove her worth and her work. She talks about I can eat as much as a man. I can have 13 children and still get back up. And the thought about ain't I a woman, the question that she posed is posed during a time where women are beginning to be activists, both combining an activism around race and an activism around gender. The context of their work is in a time where there was a healthy fear that the white suffragists would exclude black women if they could. And these women lived in a Jim Crow America. They had a oppression that they felt was specific to black women. They had to deal with both sexism and racism to secure the vote. African American women, they fought alongside white women, separate from white women, because a lot of ways, some of our early feminists did not want to associate with women of color for fear that it would tank the movement, or almost to make sure that one group would have priority over another. I'm an advocate professionally, and oftentimes when we are before the state legislature or Congress, there's always this fear of groups being pitted against each other, as if we don't live in a country of abundance where there's more than enough. But so think of this speech given in Akron, and then fast forward to Washington, D.C. in March of 1913. You have a Woodrow Wilson arriving by train, thinking people are going to welcome him because he is there for his inauguration. And instead, a few came to the train, but there were hundreds of thousands that were watching a women's suffrage parade. And this parade had lots of women, but also included African American women, women who were professors, part of the media, lecturers, intellectuals, poets, businesswomen, organizers. I think of even organizations such as Delta Sigma Theta, who participated in that march, even under some times where they were supposed to participate with their states, but then they were asked to be moved to the back. But this was so important that they brought a awareness to making sure that women can vote. Frances Ellen Watkins Harper, gosh, that's a lot of names. She actually settled near Columbus, Ohio, and she was a lecturer. And one of her quotes were, "As much as white women need the ballot, colored women need it more." And here we are in a journey of many women, many giants that I stand on the shoulders of, and many of them who were founders to the NAACP. And so it's those women and their legacy for why I stand here today. The women of that time thought of voting as a political means to solve their societal ills in the Black community. And there were so many that looked at women's suffrage as a strategy to both empower women as well as empower their community. I think another quote, and then I'll kind of come to the close. You know, preachers say that 3 times, so that was the first time we'll come to a close. Frederick Douglass said, "When women, because they are women, are hunted down through the cities of New York and New Orleans, when they are dragged from their homes, hung upon lampposts, when their children are torn from their arms and their brains dashed out upon the pavement, when they are objects of insult and outrage on every turn, when they are in danger of having their homes burnt down over their heads, and when their children are not allowed to enter schools, then they will have an urgency to obtain the ballot equal to our own." And he was speaking directly to Black women. As we near the centennial of the 19th Amendment in 2020, which barred states from denying voting rights based on gender, let us not forget the contributions of Black women. Let us also not forget that although the 19th ensured voting, it took the Voting Rights Act to make sure that women and men, for that matter, in the South, African Americans across the country weren't denied their vote. So in a lot of ways, African American women haven't voted as long because of barriers to the vote. One of the forerunners, she said, "The injustices will end when women get the vote." And that's a powerful statement for capturing their purpose and their energy at that time, but certainly we know that injustice still exists. And that's why an NAACP still exists. We are in a time where, 100 years ago, we were fighting for the right to vote. Now in record numbers, African American women are seeking the office, running, voting. And now more than ever before, it's important that we engage communities, that we make sure folks are registered and participate and live out their civic responsibility. Again, I always appreciate the partnership of this body. I appreciate the time that we've spent just sharing a little. As the Political Action Chair, this summer we will be engaged in something called Policy and Popsicles, where June through August, we will be in local communities, registering people to vote, sharing with them important issues, hearing from them what are the issues that the NAACP should prop up. We know that 2020 is an important year. Every year is an election year. Every year is important. But we want to make sure that we are getting people educated and informed to cast their vote and be active in 2020. Thank you for your time.
Thank you very much. We would love to get pictures with both of you.
Absolutely.
And then,
Well, now you guys got a moment to see why you guys are all jealous because I have the best mother-in-law in the world. But I don't know if you noticed this morning, Barb, but your granddaughter's in the room. So, extra special little treat this morning. I didn't know until yesterday that my mother-in-law was coming this morning to present because my staff had to tell me because my mother-in-law didn't tell me at dinner the other night. But I brought my daughter because she's on spring break, so I brought her granddaughter with me this morning
hi, Erin.
to see. So.
Perfect. All right. Everybody good? Thank you. Wait, I have to turn the camera on. Okay. Okay, a few more. And one more. And let's get Erin in there.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Erin's hung out with Crash and Lucille once or twice too, huh?
Yeah, we were thinking about having Crash and Lucille in this next phase, but then we didn't know if they're registered to vote. So thought that could be a problem. Continuing on our voting theme, we have the Board of Elections here. David Payne, and is Ed?
I don't believe he's here.
I didn't see Ed, so welcome.
Well, thank you very much. President Brown, Commissioner Boyce, Commissioner O'Grady. This is a very exciting day for the staff at the Franklin County Board of Elections. Literally 2 years in the works, and thank you for all of your efforts and your staff efforts. We wouldn't be here today without their work, hard work, and certainly the funding that the county commissioners in the state of Ohio put forward allowed us to be here today. And it's also good that the NAACP is here and the League of Women Voters, because over the last 2 years we've been working closely with the minority community, the League of Women Voters, the disability community, the senior citizens, and citizens of Franklin County. We've been traveling around with our new voting machines to city council meetings. We were at Columbus City Council last night. We've been at New Albany. We've been to a lot of the public libraries. We're going to a lot of festivals and fairs to show off our new voting machines that the voters of Franklin County will be able to use for the first time on May 7th. So we brought today two of our trainers, Ralph and Sharon, who are going to demonstrate our new voting machines. And literally, our trainers have to train 4,000 poll workers to be ready for the May election, the November election, and so on. And we wanted to start with our new voting machines in 2019 so that we would be ready for the 2020 presidential election. So Sharon and Ralph, I'm going to turn it over to you. And again, thank you, commissioners, for all that you've done, and thank you for your staff.
Yeah, it's his teacher, chaperone.
Good morning, commissioners and guests. I just want to give you a high level of what you're looking at so that everyone here will know about this new hybrid voting system. So we do call it a hybrid voting system because it is a paper-based system, but it gives voters the option as to how they're going to mark their paper ballot. They can choose to mark their ballot using a traditional fill-in-the-oval pre-printed ballot, or they can use a touchscreen ballot marker and mark their ballot on a ballot card. That's what's really awesome about the system, that we have choice. Now, we have a PowerPoint presentation. I have a clicker. That is scary, but we're going to do it. All right, so we've got it here, first slide. We are always looking for poll workers. The deputy director mentioned that, we train over 4,000 poll workers to serve in the 355 polling locations throughout Franklin County. And the fact of the matter is, we cannot do that without folks who are giving their time to do that. So if you have interest, please contact us. The new voting systems are 2 years in the making. It wasn't just a very quick decision. 2 years in the making of working with organizations like the League of Women Voters. We did some public mock elections so we can collect voter and public feedback, and a lot of other advocacy groups as well to land on just feedback. Now, the system we have is one of 5 systems that are certified for the state of Ohio. So we can't just go choose any vendor. There are 5 certified vendors. This is one of those 5. Okay. The equipment costs $12 million, and we are very thrilled to have funding from the state to cover a nice portion of that to be able to truly upgrade the voter experience for sure. Okay. And then Director already mentioned we're going to have all of these new systems in the polling locations for the May primary, as well as in the early vote center if you choose to vote there as well. So I talked about the new system. I'm going to go ahead and move through this because I mentioned this. It gives voters an option. They can choose to use a pre-printed paper ballot, or they can use a touchscreen ballot marker. And the touchscreen marker, honestly, is very similar to what we've all used in the past to vote. So if you voted in the past, you're going to find that it is super easy to vote. You will simply mark your ballot, you'll verify your ballot, and you'll vote. And we'll get to that. So what are the benefits? Because this is what I get excited about. One, it really will eliminate lines. This system is really easy to use. Voters will be able to vote quickly, get in and out, and get on with their day. But it also is really nice for the poll workers who serve on election day as well. Our other equipment we had for about 12 years, and as with all things, you have to eventually upgrade. Things are more costly to replace. But from a poll worker perspective, it took a good amount of time to get all that set up and taken down for the election day. This new equipment is so much easier to do, so a much better experience for our poll workers. But what I also like even more is the actual voter experience. This new equipment truly does allow us to accommodate all voters so that they can truly submit or cast, I should say, an independent vote on their own. All of the equipment is ADA compliant, which allows voters to have full access to an audio ballot if they need without any poll worker assistance. Any voters who maybe have to use some additional peripherals such as sip and puff or rocker paddles can actually connect those components right into all the equipment as well. So it's just a very easy system to use and honestly allows us to accommodate all voters to have an independent vote. Went too fast. Now, this is the big one too, is security of everything. So all these items, none of our equipment on election day in any of the locations are connected to internet, Wi-Fi. There is none of that. So no concern of hacking in by any kind. It is all functioning independently. Another question we get is about power. We do have battery backup on these as well. So if we were to lose power in a location, voting doesn't stop. But if something more drastic happened and we lost power for several hours, we still have that paper component. So voting still continues. Not to mention the board already has an entire plan of what they do in the event of loss of power. But that's what's great about the new system is that voting never stops so that folks can come in and do what they are thinking they need to get done. We also have all of our equipment, all of the data components and where those paper ballots are stored are all behind secure areas with tamper-proof seals, security lock ties, all of that good stuff as well. Now, we've got visuals here. We brought all of the equipment here for you today. We wanted to just bring it all so you can see it. And let me explain it. And then if we do have time, we'll go through a demonstration. But we will certainly stick around after the meeting as well. So if folks want some more individual time and that's more appropriate, we'll certainly do that. But I will just explain what you see here. So the first two items here, the one on the chair, that is our ballot marker. And it will be on tables in the polling location. But for today, we just use the chair for ease, okay? But those ballot markers will be on tables in the location. And then the item in the middle is our kiosk stand, which if you're looking at it, feels very much familiar to what we've all seen before with an upgrade. Those two markers are exactly the same. And those are the touchscreen ballot markers where you'll use that ballot card to mark your ballot, okay? And then the third item you see here is the ballot counter. And this is the difference, and this is the part I really like. Voters have never been able to mark their ballot and truly physically see what was on their ballot. Now, if they use that touchscreen marker, they'll make their selections on screen. You just touch your selections and move on, but it will print your selections on the ballot card. So once you've marked your ballot, now you'll be able to physically verify in print what your selections are, and then you will feed that into the ballot counter to actually vote. So it is maybe one extra step, but I think it's a nice one because now you'll physically see what selections you made. You're going to physically see on this card, and then you will feed this into the ballot counter, and that is where you are officially voting. That's where you'll get your I voted today sticker, and you'll put it on your Instagram. Okay, so it's super easy to use. Again, we are going to be here to demonstrate this for you. If we don't have time for that, again, we'll stick around. But I think that about covers everything we have. The rest just goes into how easy it is to use. And then Ralph and I can demonstrate that for you at a little bit later time if that's more appropriate.
It probably is,
Okay.
since we're just at the beginning of our agenda, but thank you.
Absolutely. Thank
Any
you.
questions from my colleagues? Thank you
Thank you
so
for your time.
much for the great explanation and clarification. And David, thank you. Okay, we need the approval of the minutes of February 13, 2019 executive session and the minutes of March 7 and March 21, 2019 briefing.
So moved.
Second.
Moved and seconded voting. Commissioner Boyce? Commissioner O'Grady?
Yes.
Commissioner Brown?
Yes.
Minutes have been approved.
Clerk of Courts.
Resolution number 201-19. Resolution authorizing a non-general fund supplemental appropriation to support the Franklin County Justice System Modernization Project.
Good morning.
Morning. Morning, Commissioners.
Good morning.
Adam Lukepp on behalf of the Board of Commissioners and the E-Governance Board. And with me today is Jason Sankey.
Good morning.
Good morning.
We are seeking the approval of a supplemental appropriation in the amount of $220,000 to be transferred from the Criminal Justice Information System Fund. On March 20th, the E-Governance Board approved a resolution authorizing the submittal to continue professional services for Crow LLC as we move forward with the replacement of the court case management system. Pending any questions, we ask for your approval.
If there are no comments or questions, move for passage of 201-19.
Second.
Moved and seconded voting. Commissioner Boyce?
Yes.
Commissioner O'Grady?
Yes.
Commissioner Brown?
Yes.
Resolution number 201-19 has been adopted.
Thank
Thank you.
County Engineer.
Resolution number 202-19. Resolution authorizing the Board of County Commissioners to approve the 2019 agreements with ASME Ohio Council 8.
Good morning, Commissioners.
Good morning.
On behalf of Engineer Robertson, my name is Fritz Crozier, Chief Deputy of Engineering, and with me today is
Angela Phelps, Director of Human Resources. Commissioners, this first resolution seeks approval of the agreement between the AFSCME Ohio Council 8 Labor Union and the Franklin County Engineer. A portion of our staff are members of the Local 954 AFSCME Labor Union. The existing collective bargaining unit agreement expires March 31st, 2019. We have engaged in negotiation and reached an agreement. The agreement has been approved as to form by the prosecutor's office. If approved, this agreement will begin April 1, 2019 and expire March 31st, 2022.
If there are no comments or questions, move for passage of 202-19.
Second.
Moved and second in voting, Commissioner Boyce, Commissioner O'Grady,
Yes.
Commissioner Brown.
Yes.
Resolution number 202-19 has been adopted.
Okay, now I see we have a public hearing. Can you please read the public hearing?
Public hearing, establishing alternate widening of Morse Road at Babbitt Road, Plain Township, and Jefferson Township, Franklin County, Ohio, viewed, engineered to file plans as necessary.
Okay, I am now opening the public hearing for this resolution. Is there anyone here in the audience who'd like to speak on this at this public hearing? Seeing none, I will close the public hearing, and can the clerk read the resolution?
Resolution number 203-19, establishing alternate widening of Morse Road at Babbitt Road, Plain Township, and Jefferson Township, Franklin County, Ohio, viewed, engineered to file plans as necessary.
Commissioners, on February 26, 2019, the board declared necessary the Morse Road at Babbitt Road Improvement Project. The project, located in northeast Franklin County and Jefferson Township and Plain Township, will construct a single-lane modern roundabout and is currently scheduled for construction in the year 2022. This resolution represents the second legislative step in the project development process and authorizes the county engineer to enter into agreements as necessary for the completion of the project. Pending any questions, I'd ask for your approval.
If there are no comments or questions, move for adoption of 203-19.
Second.
Moved and second in voting, Commissioner Boyce,
Yes.
Commissioner O'Grady,
Yes.
Commissioner Brown.
Yes.
Resolution number 203-19 has been adopted. Resolution number 204-19, resolution authorizing participation in the Ohio Department of Transportation summer contract for road salt, Franklin County, Ohio.
Commissioners, this resolution seeks authorization to participate in the ODOT summer contract for road salt. Participation in this contract will allow Franklin County to take advantage of competitive pricing as a result of collaborative bidding. Pending any questions, I'd ask for your approval.
If there are no comments or questions, move for adoption of 204-19.
Second.
Moved and second in voting, Commissioner Boyce,
Yes.
Commissioner O'Grady,
Yes.
Commissioner Brown.
Yes.
Resolution number 204-19 has been adopted. Resolution number 205-19, TEC Engineering Incorporated Consulting Engineers appointed to assist the Franklin County engineer by providing on-call traffic engineering services, Franklin County, Ohio, in the amount of $40,000.
Commissioners, this next resolution seeks approval to enter into consultant services agreement with TEC Engineering, Inc. to assist the Franklin County engineer in providing on-call traffic engineering services. We have worked with TEC Engineering in the past, and they are a certified female business enterprise. Pending any questions, I'd ask for your approval.
Great. If there are no comments or questions, move for passage of 205-19.
Second.
Moved and second in voting, Commissioner Boyce,
Yes.
Commissioner O'Grady,
Yes.
Commissioner Brown.
Yes.
Resolution number 205-19 has been adopted. Resolution number 206-19, right-of-way plans approved for the replacement of the structure on Boer Road over Plum Run North, Jackson Township, Franklin County, Ohio.
Commissioners, on March 21st, 2017, the board approved a resolution declaring necessary the replacement of the structure on Boer Road over Plum Run. As part of the improvement project, additional land acquisition is required. This resolution seeks approval of right-of-way plans and allows the county engineer to move forward with the acquisition process and hire the necessary real estate consultants. This project is scheduled for construction in summer 2019. Pending any questions, I'd ask for your approval.
If there are no comments or questions, move for adoption of 206-19.
Second.
Moved and second in voting, Commissioner Boyce, Commissioner O'Grady,
Yes.
Commissioner Brown.
Yes.
Resolution number 206-19 has been adopted.
Drainage engineer,
Res-
change hats.
Resolution number 207-19, resolution authorizing a transfer of funds for the stormwater management program.
I need to change a hat.
Yeah.
Good morning, Commissioners. Jim Ramsey with the Franklin County Engineers Office.
Morning.
This resolution authorizes the transfer of $677,750 from the general fund to the Stormwater Management Fund to cover operating and capital improvement expenses for the first half of 2019. This is a standard resolution that we request biannually.
If there are no comments or questions, move for adoption of 207-19.
Second.
Moved and second in voting, Commissioner Boyce,
Yes.
Commissioner O'Grady,
Yes.
Commissioner Brown.
Yes.
Resolution number 207-19 has been adopted.
Great. Under Board of Commissioners.
Resolution number 208-19. Resolution authorizing general fund support to the Franklin Soil and Water Conservation District for calendar year 2019 in the amount of $589,100.
Commissioners, this resolution authorizes general fund support to the Franklin Soil and Water Conservation District for calendar year 2019. Approval of this resolution will allow the drainage engineer to disperse funds directly from the general fund to the Franklin Soil and Water Conservation District.
If there are no comments or questions, move for adoption of 208-19.
Second.
Moved in second and voting, Commissioner Boyce, Commissioner O'Grady,
Yes.
Commissioner Brown.
Yes.
Resolution number 208-19 has been adopted.
Thank you.
Thank you. Job and Family Services.
Resolution number 209-19. Resolution approving 10 subaward agreements for the Franklin County Comprehensive Case Management and Employment Program for in-school youth in the amount of $4,667,994.76.
Good morning, Commissioners. Joy Bivens, Director of Franklin County Job and Family Services.
Good morning.
For years, we managed the Franklin County Summer Youth Works Program, which helped place youth ages 14 to 24 from low-income TANF-eligible households on a pathway towards self-sufficiency through summer employment opportunities. The community knew it as the Youth Summer Works Program. However, the implementation of the State Comprehensive Case Management and Employment Program, known as Achieve More and Prosper, or AMP, here in Franklin County, changed that. The TANF dollars that had previously been earmarked for Summer Youth Employment Program are redirected toward AMP, which provides an array of supportive services and barrier removal for youth year-round in 2017. Through a joint procurement process with the Workforce Development Board of Central Ohio, we awarded 10 providers to offer summer employment opportunities and meet the year-round core service requirements for CCMEP. We have mutually agreed to exercise our second and final review option for these contracts. Last year, our AMP in-school youth providers served more than 1,000 opportunity youth across Franklin County. Youth participated in monthly activities including tutoring, financial literacy, leadership, and personal development, effective communication skills, and career exploration. This year, our AMP in-school providers will provide summer employment opportunities and year-round support to approximately 1,200 opportunity youth. And Commissioners, if I can just really quick, again, this was previously known as our Summer Youth Program. However, when the legislation went forward at the governor's budget to change that program to CCMEP through the legislation, it is now the Achieve More and Prosper program, where it's just not summer anymore. The youth take an assessment, several assessments, to see where their barriers are at. So they participate in a summer youth experience in the summer. However, they're required to participate in supportive services during the school year-round. And if you remember, Commissioners, a couple of years ago, I sat before you and talked about the deficit that possibly that this could provide for youth who are looking for summer employment. In my budget testimony, I mentioned that we will be sending out communication to the business community asking for them to provide summer internship opportunities to the TANF-eligible youth population. That communication did go out, and I will keep you abreast of that conversation. Pending any questions, I would ask for your approval of this resolution.
If there are no comments or questions, move for passage of 209-19.
This is so important. I mean, there's so many layers to why this is so important, but this is such an important resolution. So, second.
Yeah, and Commissioner, just really quick, I want to make mention that this supports the poverty initiative, because what it does is it provides early interventions and early exposure at an earlier age, which we know could, the exposure in itself has a potential to disrupt poverty, especially in generational households.
Yes.
Let us know if you need any assistance with some of the employers.
The goal is 500 youth opportunities.
I know.
So we'll see.
I know.
Great.
Moved in second and voting, Commissioner Boyce.
Yes.
Commissioner O'Grady.
Yes.
Commissioner Brown.
Yes.
Resolution number 209-19 has been adopted.
Thanks. Community partnerships.
Resolution number 210-19. Resolution authorizing a collaboration agreement with Homeport to support the analysis and identification of unmet health care and social service needs in order to improve the affordable housing options offered to their tenants in the amount of $50,000.
Good morning, Commissioners. Dana McCrary with Community Partnerships. This resolution with Homeport would support their work. This is the second year of a 3-year initiative, but it would support their work in connecting their residents who have low and moderate incomes, a targeted group, new Americans, older adults, and youth, targeting them with community resources that they need to increase financial stability, family stability, and community stability as well. Pending any questions, I would request the approval of this resolution.
Thank you, Dana. We do have a speaker who would like to speak on this resolution, and I welcome David Caldwell up. And David, as you come up, I just want to remind you there's a 3-minute time limit on the topic, and thanks for being here.
Thank you, Commissioners. My name is Dr. David Caldwell, and I'm a member of the BREAD organization. It's great that the county will work with Homeport to figure out which services their tenants need. Homeport has been a great provider of affordable housing in this community. We need more partnerships like this in order to help our most vulnerable residents. I'm here to share the story of one of our members. She's in her late 70s. When her first husband died, she couldn't afford the mortgage. She had to pick up a part-time job, and her children helped her pay her mortgage every month. She writes, "Not everyone has the benefit of 4 college graduate sons to help them pay for their home. I've been very fortunate, but I know this is not the typical situation for most people who are struggling to pay for their housing. What is there for a senior citizen? It's hard to find a place to be able to afford. I was trying to move out of my house, but in the places I was looking, the prices per month were higher than my mortgage. I think it is very challenging for seniors. I know there are widows in our senior group who can't manage the upkeep of their homes, but can't afford to live anywhere else. It's very difficult. There doesn't seem to be much affordable housing for seniors. Even rental properties are very expensive and not in walking distance of many things, which makes having a car necessary, which a lot of seniors don't have. We have hundreds of stories on affordable housing from our members, and they experience this as not just an issue, but an emergency. You have heard those stories week after week. In our meetings with commissioners, we were made aware of a willingness to increase the conveyance fee by $1. We still urge you all to increase the fee to the maximum allowed by state. This increase could lead to millions more of additional dollars per year to the Affordable Housing Trust Fund, which would lead to more affordable housing for seniors. What would it take to make this happen?
Thank you.
Thank you.
If there are no comments or questions, move for passage of 210-19.
Second.
Moved and second in voting, Commissioner Boyce?
Yes.
Commissioner O'Grady?
Yes.
Commissioner Brown?
Yes.
Resolution number 210-19 has been adopted. Resolution number 211-19, resolution authorizing a 1-year contract with the Community Shelter Board to provide housing for families and individuals who are experiencing a housing crisis in the amount of $4,989,390.
Commissioners, this resolution is in support of our long-term partnership with the Community Shelter Board. And through this contract, we will assist the Community Shelter Board in being able to divert 25% of single adults and 40% of families to options other than emergency shelter. 1,500 adults will be served through the Rapid Rehousing program. There will be 1,938 units of supportive housing, and 2,200 Franklin County residents will be connected annually with permanent supportive housing. So if there are no questions, I would request the approval of this resolution.
If there are no comments or questions, move for adoption of 211-19.
Second.
Moved and second in voting, Commissioner Boyce?
Yes.
Commissioner O'Grady?
Yes. Commissioner
Brown?
Yes.
Resolution number 211-19 has been adopted. Resolution number 212-19, Resolution authorizing a one-year agreement with the Ohio State University Extension, Franklin County, to provide educational activities and other programming in the amount of $175,000.
Commissioners, this resolution with OSU Extension will support their work in providing evidence-based education in the areas of health and wellness, youth development, and urban agriculture for Franklin County residents. Pending any questions, I would respectfully request the approval of this resolution.
If there are no comments or questions, move for passage of 212-19.
Second.
Moved in second and voting, Commissioner Boyce.
Yes.
Commissioner O'Grady.
Yes.
Commissioner Brown.
Yes.
Resolution number 212-19 has been adopted.
Thank you.
Thank you. Child support enforcement.
Resolution number 213-19. Resolution authorizing a 4D contract with the Franklin County Data Center in the amount of $424,403.39.
Good morning, Commissioners. Lori Torriero, Assistant Director. With me is Kim Collins, our Establishment Manager. This first resolution has to do with our annual contract with the Franklin County Data Center. We store various types of programs and images and documents on the main servers in the Franklin County Data Center. This contract is one that we enter into every year, and there is nothing unusual this year about it. Pending any questions, I'd request your approval.
If there are no comments or questions, move for adoption of 213-19.
Second.
Moved in second and voting, Commissioner Boyce.
Yes.
Commissioner O'Grady.
Yes.
Commissioner Brown.
Yes.
Resolution number 213-19 has been adopted. Resolution number 214-19. Resolution authorizing a 4D contract with the Franklin County Prosecutor's Office in the amount of $394,297.88.
Commissioners, this again is another annual interagency contract that we enter into. This contract pays for the services of 2 assistant county prosecutors and various support staff for those clients that we have that are able to pay but unwilling. And we send a little less than 1% of our cases to the prosecutor's office, but those we send are the ones who truly need that kind of intervention. Pending any questions, I'd request your approval.
If there are no comments or questions, move for adoption of 214-19.
Second.
Moved in second and voting, Commissioner Boyce.
Yes.
Commissioner O'Grady.
Yes.
Commissioner Brown.
Yes.
Resolution number 214-19 has been adopted. Resolution number 215-19. Resolution authorizing an amendment to the consulting contract with Linda Norris for professional mediation services, increasing the amount by $12,000 for a total amount of $66,975.
Commissioners, this contract is funded through a grant from the federal government called Access and Visitation. Mediation for parenting time agreements is one of the services that can be provided under that grant. The grant fully funds this contractor, and she is on site at CSEA almost every day to assist clients who want to have parenting time agreements. Pending any questions, I'd request your approval.
If there are no comments or questions, move for adoption of 215-19.
Second.
Moved in second and voting, Commissioner Boyce.
Yes.
Commissioner O'Grady.
Yes.
Commissioner Brown.
Yes.
Resolution number 215-19 has been adopted. Resolution number 216-19. Resolution authorizing Franklin County Child Support Enforcement Agency to enter into a contract with Goodwill of Columbus for employment services related to the implementation of the Families Forward Demonstration Grant in the amount of $133,088.
Well,
Good
hello.
morning, Director.
Director, how are you?
I'm very well, thank you. Susan Brown, Director of Franklin County Child Support Enforcement Agency. And thank you, Commissioners, for allowing a few minutes today to acknowledge the collaboration and partnership work that went into our latest employment and parenting projects. The Families Forward demonstration, which is we also call FFD, because everything has to have an acronym, and our early intervention program called The Journey, A Parent's Voice. County Administrator Ken Wilson, you'll appreciate this. I have a quote this morning.
Wow.
H.E. Lukoc, who's a professor of Yale Divinity School, once said that while no one can whistle a symphony, it takes a whole orchestra to play it. The quote exemplifies the fact that we all bring unique talents, skill sets, and resources to the work of lifting people up out of poverty. So huge acknowledgement and thanks goes out to the Board of Commissioners for supporting these projects. Thanks to County Administration for resource funding and their support. Thanks to Joy Bivens, who's already left, but thank you to her and her team. However, we do have representatives here from Job and Family Services with us. Keith? Brian, sorry. Brian. And for their collaboration through TANF Workforce and service contracts. So a really quick story. About 5 years ago, Lori and I met with Jennifer Marshall and Dr. June Gutterman in Bexley for lunch at the Rusty Bucket. And at that lunch, we had a conversation about collaboration. We talked about employment supports for child support parents. We talked about building careers, the need for follow-up supports, and navigation to help people to get to that next best job. At that time, it was all very theoretical and conceptual, but now it's inspiring to see that the work is actually happening. Our collective staffs are putting their hearts and souls into these projects. They see this work as a higher calling, and the rewards and payoffs couldn't be more life-changing for our child support parents and their children. In that one meeting, that was a catalyst for establishing the partnership with Job and Family Services, which in turn evolved into a relationship that now uses all three organizations to provide family service supports to child support parents, including not just our grant work through our Federal Office of Child Support, but also through FFD project, which includes funding from the Kellogg Foundation. Through this work, we've come to several realizations, and most importantly, to the extent that our policies inhibit parental engagement with our offices and with their children, we must change them. Secondly is the recognition that these clients are parents first, foremost, and last. And if we don't support them as parents, we can provide all the supports to find and keep a job and even move up in their careers, but they will not necessarily grasp the why of why they're doing it. There's no quick fix to lifting people up out of poverty. We continue to engage in the type of research that gives us guidance as to what types of support or X factors that help our parents to be successful. Jewish Family Services, Goodwill, Action for Children have come together for almost a year to design and implement our Journey program. It's our hope that we can prove that by providing new fathers both the how and the why in a blended parenting and employment service program, we'll see the type of positive results that come when both parents work together to support their children, and not only financially, but in every other way. So the significance of this work is demonstrated by the cast of leaders that we have here today. All are pillars in the community and innovators in their field. Jewish Family Services, Dr. June Gutterman, Karen Mosender, Goodwill's Margie Pizzuti, Jennifer Gary, Jennifer Marshall here today? Okay. Action for Children, Judy Williams and Jeff Kramer, and thank you for giving us time to recognize this work.
Thank you. And thank you to the great leaders of Goodwill, Columbus, Margie Pizzuti.
Thank you.
Dr. Gutterman, Karen Mosender, and Action for Children.
Thank you, President Brown and Commissioners Boyce and O'Grady. June Gutterman and I are joined at the hips. We often call us soul sisters and sisters from another mother, if you can believe that. We are honored and privileged to work together with these partners, because that's what it's all about. It takes a village, I tell folks. It absolutely does. And I want to offer sincere gratitude to Director Susan Brown, who will not say this herself. She's an incredibly humble, extraordinary, innovative leader, both locally and nationally. I think that deserves a round of applause. I know she'll be blushing, but she has provided the leadership, as you all know, relating to the connection between workforce, what a concept,
Yeah.
having individuals who need to pay child support. If they don't have the dollars, why don't we train those individuals and help those individuals become better parents?
That sounds simple,
Or-
doesn't it?
It does, right? That's where it takes
Instead
a
of putting them in jail or prison, yeah.
That's right.
What a concept.
So we've been able to, with extraordinary leadership from Director Brown, to be able to make that happen, putting this eloquent mosaic together of partners who work together. So we just want to express our appreciation on behalf of Goodwill to the county commissioners for being there with us as we've gone on this journey, for the financial support that you've given us. So we're about training individuals, giving those individuals the technical skills, not getting them just a job, but getting them a job and training and the industry recognized certifications in healthcare, IT, hospitality in our case, so that we can move them on a pathway to economic mobility and economic self-sufficiency. That's what it's about. It's not just about getting those individuals a job. If we move them on that pathway, they will earn the money to be able to pay child support, be able to stabilize their own lives and their families' lives. Again, it's not easy. Together, we're making that happen, and we're delighted to be partners with you. So, June?
Good morning, Commissioners, President Brown, Commissioner Boyce, Commissioner O'Grady, and my partners in crime. And I know that usually when you see Margie and I, we're up to trouble.
Good trouble.
Hopefully.
Sometimes.
Sometimes.
Yeah.
It goes without saying that everyone wants to see collaboration. And it's typically the collaboration that exists among partners delivering service. But what is unique about this is that there's another piece of collaboration that we typically miss. And that's a collaboration around funders. Because in this model, funders change rules. Funders move barriers to the delivery of service. The other thing about this is systems change doesn't happen overnight. And Susan and Lori, Director Brown, have been doing this for over 6 years with us. This is a model that moves through and moves to different types of population as we learn from individuals who have already been who are already delinquent with child support to individuals who are just finding out they're going to be fathers. And so if we can move along that pipeline, we can begin to increase the likelihood of getting people jobs and increase the ability for a family to work together to support a child. As Margie said, Goodwill and JFS have partnered in employment services all over this community and in many, many forms. And while they do the certification piece, we both get jobs. Our part of this is retention and housing. And we know that intentional retention is not just how you get a job goodbye. It is about keeping you on that job and helping you serve, helping you solve problems in real time using virtual support, so that you not only keep a job, but you can move to the next better job. And I just want to close and thank Lori for everything that she's done and the jewel that this community has in representing. Thank you.
Thank you.
Director, President Brown, Commissioner Boyce, Commissioner O'Grady. My name is Judy Williams. I work at Action for Children. I'm the Director of Family and Community Engagement. I think you all can relate to the fact that when you find out you're going to be a parent, or you become a parent, that is one of the most rewarding, exciting, life-altering events that you will ever have, and it continues to be that way. It's not something that has an end.
And scary.
And scared. And that is my next point exactly. And It's very frightening when the reality sets in, the responsibility that you have to raise this human being, to guide and nurture, to provide for them, to get along with the other parent, whether you are together or not. Imagine what it's like for someone who has a lot of life barriers, someone who maybe doesn't think that they're going to have an opportunity to be involved in that child's life, who doesn't have a job or employment that will allow them to provide for that child. What happens when you get scared, really scared? Sometimes you tend to run, or you disengage, or you back away. Well, this project brings together a collaboration not only of Goodwill and Jewish Family Services to help that father become a good provider for their child, but it starts with the belief that if a man really understands and is validated in his feelings about the importance and value of his role as a father, that he's going to be more inclined to engage. And if you support him, provide him with parenting education skills, barrier removal support, and just encouraging words and opportunities to learn how to be a good parent, be a good provider, be a good co-parent, they're going to engage, and they're more likely to stay engaged in that child's life going forward. It is a privilege for Action for Children to be involved in this program, to collaborate with Franklin County Child Support, with Goodwill, with Jewish Family Services. We appreciate very much the opportunity to do this. We take our responsibility very seriously, and it's just a wonderful collaboration. Thank you for your support. We know that you approved some funding for us last week, and we will make sure that you consider this, that we all consider it a wonderful investment of taxpayer dollars, and that we will work very hard to support the dads and make sure that they have an active part. They do have a voice in their child's life. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Wow. I think this is appropriate time to also say to Lori, whose last meeting this is, thank you for your years of service to Franklin County and for all you've done to help with all of the projects, all of the work that child support enforcement have done, and to giving the support with Susan and all of the great innovations that have taken place over the time you've been at the county. We have so appreciated all that you have given to the county and for your service, and we wish you well in Florida. Yeah? Florida, huh? Yeah, I know.
I remember us bringing you here, Lori. It's been great. It's been great. You've done a fantastic job, and we appreciate everything you've done.
Thank you. There is, well, two things. One is, there is a part of me that will miss everything about everything that I do here. There is another part of me that is very ready. I was thinking on my way in the car this morning that I first started working full-time in 1979. And this is the first time since then that I have been voluntarily unemployed. So going to graduate school, going to law school, I still worked. It's been a long road.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Lori, I'll just say I haven't had a chance to really get to know you very much. I've not been here that long, but I do recognize how special retirement is, because it really is a demonstration of a lifetime committed to something. And in my short time being here, I would describe you, if someone were to ask me to describe you, I would use 3 words: professional, prepared, and passionate. And I think when you have those 3 attributes in anything you do, you're going to leave an impact. And I really believe you've left an impact. And so Godspeed and good luck to you in your next endeavor.
Thank you.
You deserve it.
Very much.
Before I move for passage, I also want to just say for adoption of the resolution, and it seems like they're connected to the next three, I do want to just recognize all of the nonprofits that are here working together, because it does say something. I mean, your work stands by itself, and so I won't go into that. But it does say something because most times nonprofits are in a situation where they're competing against one another. And I'm not saying anyone does this in Central Ohio, but oftentimes nonprofits will try to undermine the other in order to get theirs, and it's generally because they're passionate about their work and they believe they do the best job. It's not sinister, at least most times. But in this case, it's really a good thing to see the collaborative effort, because more importantly, what it means for county dollars is that we're leveraging them to do more. And so while you see these resolutions for the amounts they are, the reality is they're much greater impact because of the leverage that it is for each of your agencies in working together in a collaborative way. And so I really just want to recognize that and say thank you for being such strong leaders. And I really hope other nonprofits use it as an example to work together on these projects we talked about with poverty. So thank you for working together so well. If there are no further comments or questions, move for adoption of 216-19.
Second.
Moved and seconded in voting. Commissioner Boyce?
Yes.
Commissioner O'Grady?
Yes.
Commissioner Brown?
Yes.
Resolution number 216-19 has been adopted. Resolution number 217-19. Resolution authorizing Franklin County Child Support Enforcement Agency to enter into a contract with Jewish Family Services for employment services related to the implementation of the Families Forward demonstration grant in the amount of $133,088.
Commissioners, this is the companion resolution, as is the next one. The Families Forward demonstration grant is a collaboration between the Kellogg Foundation, social research firm of MDRC, local support from the commissioners, as well as federal support from the Office of Child Support Enforcement. Pending any questions, I'd recommend approval, request approval.
If there are no comments or questions, move for adoption of 217-19.
Second.
Moved and seconded in voting. Commissioner Boyce? Yes. Commissioner O'Grady?
Yes.
Commissioner Brown?
Yes.
Resolution number 217-19 has been adopted. Resolution number 218-19. Resolution authorizing a contract with Goodwill Industries of Central Ohio for occupational skills training and employment services as a Families Forward demonstration provider in the amount of $80,000.
Commissioners, this grant is for the actual skills training that Families Forward demonstration hopes to prove will be an effective model for the future.
If there are no comments or questions, move for adoption of 218-19.
Second.
Moved and seconded in voting. Commissioner Boyce?
Yes.
Commissioner O'Grady?
Yes.
Commissioner Brown?
Yes.
Resolution number 218-19 has been adopted. Resolution number 219-19. Resolution authorizing Franklin County Child Support Enforcement Agency to enter into a contract and data sharing agreement with Jewish Family Services and Goodwill of Central Ohio for employment services related to the implementation of the Journey of Parents' Voice Early Intervention Pilot Project in the amount of $90,000.
Good morning, Commissioners.
Morning.
I would like to first thank the Commissioners and Jobs and Family Services for providing funding for the Journey Pilot Program, and also thank the partners, Action for Children, Goodwill, and Jewish Family Services for working with us for almost a year to get this program to the pilot phase. This is a pilot program that engages and provides services to non-custodial fathers at the genetic testing or support hearing phase, rather than waiting until a support order has been established and a significant amount of debt has accumulated. This program is designed to give fathers every opportunity to develop relationships with their children, as well as regular financial support. The pilot program is designed to serve approximately 50 TANF-eligible fathers. The agency will be tracking several outcomes through the Efforts to Outcomes program and will hopefully have results to show that a program such as this is worth funding on a larger scale. The design of this program is unique, as it will provide blended services to engage fathers as parents, as well as providing employment services. Goodwill and Jewish Family Services will provide employment assistance, and Action for Children will provide the parenting services component through the Father Factor curriculum. Both employment assistance and facilitation of the Father Factor will occur at Goodwill or Jewish Family Services. In addition to providing facilitators for the Father Factor sessions, Action for Children also provides a recruiter who is at CSEA 2 days a week to speak to the fathers who are new to the child support and a case manager who works closely with CSEA's dedicated case managers to keep the fathers engaged and involved. Pending any questions, I request approval of this resolution.
Okay. If there are no comments or questions, move for adoption of 219-19.
Second.
Moved and seconded voting, Commissioner Boyce, Commissioner O'Grady,
Yes.
Commissioner Brown.
Yes.
Resolution number 219-19 has been adopted. Resolution number 220-19, resolution authorizing Franklin County Child Support Enforcement Agency to enter into a contract with Community Endeavors Foundation for the purchase, customization, and maintenance of Efforts to Outcomes case management programming related to the implementation of the Journey, a Parent's Voice Early Intervention Pilot Project in the amount of $8,900.
The Efforts to Outcomes Case Management Program is a system that will be used by each community partner involved with the journey. Touch points of contact will be entered regarding the father's participation and progress in the program. Pending any questions, I request approval of this resolution.
If there are no comments or questions, move for adoption of 220-19.
Second.
Moved and seconded voting, Commissioner Boyce, Commissioner O'Grady,
Yes.
Commissioner Brown.
Yes.
Resolution number 220-19 has been adopted.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Justice policy. Oh, sure.
All sizes.
Wonderful. We hope to see everyone. All right, we'll take a few. One more. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Congratulations. Oh, great. Welcome.
Justice policy and programs.
Resolution number 221-19, resolution authorizing 3 sub-grant awards and contracts for services to provide victim services and enhance law enforcement and prosecution under the FY 2018 Stop Violence Against Women Act Block Grant in the amount of $106,812.18.
Good morning, Commissioners. Michael Daniels, Director of the Office of Justice Policy and Programs. Last week, you were presented with the resolution to accept the funding for the 2018 Violence Against Women Block Grant and the first 10 subcontracts to distribute those funds. These are the 3 contracts that were not quite ready for signature last week and are now, and comprise the remaining subcontracts on that grant. Pending any questions, we'd ask for your approval.
If there are no comments or questions, move for adoption of 221-19.
Second.
Moved and seconded voting, Commissioner Boyce.
Yes.
Commissioner O'Grady.
Yes.
Commissioner Brown.
Yes.
Resolution number 221-19 has been adopted.
Thank you, Commissioners.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Human resources.
Resolution number 222-19, resolution authorizing a transfer of appropriations and authorizing the county administrator to enter into agreements for the acquisition of human capital management and timekeeping software.
Good morning, Commissioners. Adam Lukaupt on behalf of the Board of Commissioners and County Administration, and with me today is Sue Hamilton, Assistant Director of Human Resources.
Good morning, Commissioners. After working with Adam and his team and Zach and OMB and their team and all 13 agencies of the Board of Commissioners, today for your consideration we have a request to purchase a system that will allow us to take care of all of our HR systems, including payroll. or not payroll, I'm sorry, timekeeping. So pending any questions, we respectfully request your approval.
If there are no comments or questions, move for adoption of 222-19.
Second.
Moved and seconded voting, Commissioner Boyce?
Yes.
Commissioner O'Grady?
Yes.
Commissioner Brown?
Yes.
Resolution number 222-19 has been adopted.
Thank you.
Thank you. Purchasing.
Resolution number 223-19, resolution authorizing appropriation adjustments in support of the print consolidation project.
Good morning, Commissioners. On behalf of the Board of Commissioners, Adam Lukout, on behalf of the Board of Commissioners and County Administration, with me today is Carl Cuthbert, Purchasing Director.
Good morning, Commissioners. This resolution is for the additional appropriations to support the continuation of the consolidation of the print functions for the Franklin County Data Center to the Board of Commissioners print shop. These appropriations will be used to convert the legacy print jobs within the data center to a modern portable digital format for the printing in the print shop. It also includes licensing, training, and implementation services. Pending any questions, I recommend approval of this resolution.
If there are no comments or questions, move for passage of 223-19.
Second.
Moved and seconded voting, Commissioner Boyce? Commissioner O'Grady?
Yes.
Commissioner Brown?
Yes.
Resolution number 223-19 has been adopted. Resolution number 224-19, resolution approving purchases for various Franklin County agencies in the amount of $23,537,674.31.
Commissioners, this resolution requests your approval of 105 purchase orders. Included in this resolution are 22 eligible purchase orders. These are defined as purchase orders in which small emerging business enterprises are likely to participate. Of these purchase orders, 18 were awarded to small emerging businesses, which is 81.8% of eligible purchase order volume. The sum of these 18 purchase orders totals $104,741, which is 77.3% of the eligible purchase order dollar value. These purchase orders have been pre-certified as availability fund by the county auditor. Pending any questions, I recommend their approval.
If there are no comments or questions, move for adoption of 224-19.
Second.
Moved and seconded voting, Commissioner Boyce?
Yes.
Commissioner O'Grady?
Yes.
Commissioner Brown?
Yes.
Resolution number 224-19 has been adopted.
Thank you, Commissioners.
Thank you.
Thank you. Board of Commissioners.
Resolution number 225-19, resolution authorizing county administrator to enter into an agreement with Ice Miller to serve as legal counsel regarding labor relations matters during calendar year 2019.
Good morning, Commissioners. Chris Long, Deputy Administrator. The Board has a need for representation on labor relations matters, including negotiating collective bargaining agreements with labor unions and representation of workers' compensation matters. As you know, last week this Board approved Resolution 200-19, which authorized the application to the Court of Common Pleas to employ Ice Miller in this regard on behalf of labor relations matters. As soon as that court order comes back and pending approval of this resolution, this will authorize the county administrator to enter into an agreement with Ice Miller for these labor relations matters. We are hopeful next week or at the latest the following week to have the bond council resolutions in front of you. Pending any questions, recommend approval of this resolution.
I just wanted to add, it should be noted that Ice Miller has always been.
That is correct. And
historically, they've been represented us on labor relations issues for quite some time, correct?
That is correct, Commissioner.
Great. If there are no further comments or questions, move for adoption of 225-19.
Second.
Moved and seconded voting, Commissioner Boyce?
Yes.
Commissioner O'Grady?
Yes.
Commissioner Brown?
Yes.
Resolution number 225-19 has been adopted.
Thank you.
Thank you. Do we have any journalizations?
There are none today, Commissioner.
Okay, we are adjourned.
Excellent.